Hello, Business Revolution. Welcome back. This is Brent, the businessman, with another episode of the number one business podcast in the nation. Now, for all of our new people, you may be wondering, why is BRP so popular? Well, first, we interview the best experts from all backgrounds. Number two, we read from the best books written of all time. So, with the information and the wisdom that you get from the interviews and the knowledge that you can get from the books, you, yes, I mean you, can do anything and everything in the world of business. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Zane Graser. He is on board. And before we get into having that conversation, please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. That way, you can continue to keep getting these phenomenal episodes sent your way. Now, for all of the new people, I have a really short bio, very impactful one for our special guest. So grab something to write with. So here it is. Zane Graser is a real estate investor who has experience working as a wholesaler. He does fixer-uppers, small rental properties, and now he's been venturing into the multifamily space. Zane is also a licensed mortgage broker with experience working for hard money lenders and conventional lenders. Now, he has access to over 100 lenders of all types nationwide, both residential and commercial properties. And by having this experience and working in real estate as an investor, he also has a huge advantage because he knows the lending industry as well. Zane gained some valuable knowledge on how to build your rental portfolio faster than the traditional route. Now, here's what's really amazing. Zane is deaf, right? He is deaf, and he was born with health conditions of the heart. Now, despite suffering setbacks in life and staring death right in the face, Zane went on to work for the Washington State Department of Corrections, fresh out of college. And that was before he discovered his love for real estate and finance. But here it is. Zane also completed, or should I say competed, in 3 full Ironman races and 4 half Ironman races, despite the heart challenges. So Zane is also a motivational speaker, and he inspires others from around the world to overcome their obstacles in life. Now, for all of our BRP listeners, followers, fans, and family, we've got a master in the building. So grab something to write with. You're going to need to take notes. Zane, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, thank you. I can hear you great.
Excellent, excellent. First of all, Zane, thank you so much and welcome to BRP. How are you doing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Now, for all of our new people, let me tell you how the show goes. So part 1, we're going to learn about Zane's background. Okay. We want to learn who is the man behind the man, right? And then second, we're going to talk about Zane's early success. I know we heard a lot of his success stories in the bio, but that's just a summary. We want to dive deep and ask the specific questions to see how, we can learn from Zane from his early success. And then we're going to talk about what his current line of business is right now today, and how we can, of course, add to that and get involved as well. So let's start from the top. We want to learn more about Zane. So Zane, who is Zane? Tell us more about where you're from and your background.
Yeah, okay. Well, to get started, my name is Zane Graser, and I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Spokane, Washington area. And as you already know, I was born deaf because I was born a little early, so I had a lot of health challenges. And we were living in Idaho, but they did not have school program and services for the deaf. I needed interpreters and all kinds of services for the deaf, and they did not have that in Idaho where we were growing up. So my family moved me to Spokane, Washington when I was really young so that I can get an education pretty much. And I went through life and graduated and went off to college and then started my career as an adult. And I was pretty much just like any other kid, just trying to make the best of life. And I wanted to have fun and enjoy life. and I lived life to the fullest. Yeah, I always had a smile on my face, and I always enjoyed challenging myself, whether in sports, in school, or anything that I do in life. I always try to do my best in whatever that I do in my life. And I was very active. I love being active in sports, whether it's hockey, football, um, and going camping, mountaineering, climbing, anything. And I was very active. I just love doing all of that stuff. So that's pretty much how I was growing up. But then, of course, when you grow up, you become an adult, you learn a whole nother world. And it's not always easy, and life's always been full of challenges. But I always just kept picking myself up and keep going and overcome the obstacles. Because I always believe that I can overcome anything that I do in life. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, whether in business or in sports or in personal life, family. I'm always learning and growing and trying to make the best of it.
That's power. Thank you so much. So let's dive deep here. So you said well, grew up in Washington, right? And were you one of many siblings, or are you the only child?
Yes, I have one younger sister who is 2 years younger, so I'm the oldest one in the family.
Okay, nice, nice. And then growing up, did you guys celebrate any holidays? And if you did, which one's your favorite?
Yeah, we pretty much celebrate all the holidays for the most part. But my favorite holiday is always Christmas because my mom's side of the family, we have a really big family. My mom's family has like 10 brothers, sisters. So I have like 21 cousins. And we always have a big gathering every year during Christmas growing up. And there'll be a lot of presents all around the Christmas tree. And I'm also a Christian myself. I believe in God. He's the reason why I'm here today after everything I've been through. So that's why Christmas is my favorite time of the year.
Absolutely. That's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, you told us that you're in sports. I mean, you according to your bio, I mean, you told us about the Ironman run and the races. Any, special training that you've had over the years?
Special training for sports, not really.
Sports or karate, or do you jump out of planes? Are
Yeah.
you a cook or are you a chef? We're just trying to learn more about, some of the things that we may not see, of course, on your business profile. So,
Well, growing up, I was very active in sports. I mostly did football, hockey, and wrestling, track and field. I run pretty fast, and I was a wrestler. So all of that kind of helped me as I moved up to working for the state prison. So I had that experience from a athletic standpoint. That was very helpful for me.
mhm.
And so I really enjoyed doing that. And I've always been really active in sports. I already had the running background. And so I thought I might as well challenge myself and go for an Ironman race. And that takes up to 25 hours of training every week. So it's pretty much a part-time job for that. So I had to get up early in the morning and go training, and I go to work, trying to work on my business. And when I first started training for my Ironman race, I just started out doing my business, and I'm trying to figure everything out, trying to make everything work, trying to make sure that I'm making enough money to make a living, and while also training for Ironman. So I had to juggle a little bit of everything. So that's really it was quite a challenge at that time when I first started out 10 years ago. So yeah, for training, yeah, I'm be training 5, 6 days a week, up to 25 hours a week for all in all three disciplines of swimming, biking, and running, and strength training as well as other things. So that really kept me really busy. And for those of you that do not know what an Ironman race is the ultimate long distance race. So basically, you'll be swimming 2.4 miles, and then you're biking 112 miles, and then you'll be running a marathon last, which is 26.2 miles. So that's a total of 140.2 miles total for the whole race. And you have 17 hours to finish the race at that timeline for anybody. So all of the best athletes will make an attempt at that to have that shot of finishing and crossing that finish line. And I learned a lot about myself with my training and being committed to it, working hard and training even when I don't feel like it or when I'm not feeling well. So yeah, it's really a big commitment, but you learn a lot about yourself during the process.
That's powerful, Zane. You are amazing. Everyone, we're talking to Superman in the flesh right now. And the reason I say that is because to the common idea of having, let's say, some type of disadvantage, be it physical, spiritual, mental, or whatever the case may be, people like to give up after that. But the idea that you're heavily in sports, business, your personal life, you're completely open to joining shows like this, and there's no excuses that you've left for yourself. I see why you're such an inspiration. And for all of our listeners and viewers, take notes, because I'm sure growing up in school, it probably wasn't easy. Just like all of us, we've got teased and picked on for certain things that, others may have seen funny or whatever the case may be. So it's just amazing that you've done so much, even with, a situation, as far as being deaf, being a challenge that you've had to live with. So what's the secret? How have you been able to push past all of those limitations that others may see as the reason why you couldn't move forward? What would you say?
That's a really good question. I honestly not sure why. I should believe in what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I should make the best of it. I mean, yeah, I've gotten knocked down many times. And sure, everything might be 10 times harder for me than most people because I'm deaf. And maybe I can't get an interpreter or there's no caption or reading material if I want to learn something on how to invest in real estate, where people will pay for an interpreter services because they're very expensive. So if I want to go to a conference, I may end up paying $2,000-3,000 for a 3-day weekend, and most people will pay for that. So
Mhm.
there's always some challenges, and there's communication barriers because I can't understand everybody. So I'm able to talk for myself, and some people I can understand better than other people.
Right.
And there's always going to be challenges, but and I mean, I died 3 times in my sleep before I got my pacemaker, and then that gave me a whole new shift and outlook on life. Life's
Mhm.
too short. I'm not gonna sit and hide in the corner or give up when the going get tough. I mean, I expect it to be tough. Nobody gets to become successful in life without going through some hardship. And along the way, you will learn a lot about yourself, and you'll learn, and you'll grow, and you'll become even better person. And not just in business or whatever, but as a person. I really learned from my experiences, and I can better relate with other people, and I can help people and inspire them through those, by what I do. I just do it because I just want to do it. I don't want to sit around and be lazy or anything like that. That's just how I'm wired. I really can't explain that really. But again, we only live once. You better make the best of it. You could lose your life just like that. And I have experienced that. And I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I'm at peace with that. God gave me life. He blessed me in everything that I do and what I'm trying to do. He doesn't always give me what I want right away. Sometimes I have to wait a couple of years in order to get to where I want. But that's really the whole point. Not about being successful. Then I might be more egotistical, prideful, all that. And that'll be your downfall in the long run. All my experience in my obstacles, it's humbled me. And it's been very humbling. So that's what I want to focus on, because that's true and that's real and that's all that matters in the end. And my biggest message, especially as a motivational speaker, is about overcoming obstacles in life.
Mhm. That's power. Now, when it comes to your life right now, what would you say is important to you in life right now?
Right now, the most important is God, really. Every morning when I wake up, I spend about an hour with God reading the Bible and in prayer. I focus on my spiritual growth, and that's important. That I try to remember where I'm coming from and why I'm where I'm at and what I have in life. I have a lot to be grateful for. So I think that's a starting point, and it kind of set my mind right for the day before I get busy with my everyday duties in life. And I'm always trying to focus on every area of my life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And I've noticed a lot of people have a tendency to leave out one or two things, but I really recommend that you focus on improving all four areas of your life so that you can be more well-rounded in your life.
Hmm. Absolutely. And then my last question in this segment, what do you love?
What do I love? Well, I love being active. I like camping. I like to go backpacking. I did a couple of camping trips over the summer, and I did a backpacking trip to a natural hot spring in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. It was really nice and serene, peaceful, and it's just really nice. I really enjoy doing that. That's one
That's
of my favorite things that I enjoy doing in life.
That's excellent. And for the audience, I want you to type in the comments, I can only learn and grow. Again, I can only learn and grow. It's so important that we hold that close to our heart because like Zane said, we're going to run into challenges. It's a part of the process. But if you have the right mindset and the perspective of what's happening in your world, then you can move forward through the challenges with speed. That's the key, is to move through the challenges with speed. So let's go into the second part of our discussion here. Zane, take us back into the early days when you had, your first success. It could be a spiritual accomplishment. It can be a mental, physical, career, whatever you'd like to share with us. We just want to learn about some early success story that may have made a big impact on your life. Which story could you share with us?
Yeah, well, I guess a couple of things come to mind, really. Some of my early success, I remember when I was in elementary school, I was part, and we were in the track and field championships. It was a 4x 800-meter relay, and my team, well, we were behind. I was the second leg, and I got the baton for the second 100-meter run portion. I was able to run really fast, and I caught up to all the other runners that were in front of me. And we eventually broke the school record. It's still standing up to this date with that. That was a pretty cool experience for me. And starting out investing in real estate. I mean, I've learned so much over the years through my experience in the lending industry and from hands-on experience. And I'm always grateful for some of the mentors that I've learned from so that I can get started by investing in real estate and just buying your first deal, your first fixer upper, your first wholesale deal, your first rental property. That's always an amazing experience and great feeling. And it's also a little nerve-wracking, but you just have to trust the process, trust your knowledge, and just go forward with it, overcome your fears once you get past that first deal or whatever you're doing for the first time. It gets easier the more often that you do that. And
Mhm.
doing an Ironman, that's a great experience for me. I mean, it's a huge experience. Yeah, I mean, all that training, all the focus, all the time I put into it. And it took a couple of years before I finally got to the big race. And when you get to that starting line and you're waiting to start, and you're so full of nerves and excitement to get started, and you know it's going to be a long day of racing. And then to go through all that is really just an amazing experience to go through all that. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Now, when we talk about these successes, were these successes, did you accomplish them by yourself without any help? Or did you have some type of mentor or support system? Were there other people involved with this success, or was this one that you did by yourself?
I think it's a little bit of both, really. I mean, growing up, I've always been active. I'll always go outside and play every day. And I guess that's how I became active. And I just have a love for sport and physical activity because of that. And that's just something that I did naturally. And that's how I was able to build my athleticism and my speed and other factors for sport. And then, of course, I'll join a school sport. I have coaches and mentors, teachers, and they all help me, you know, hone onto my skills and to build onto that. And when I went for the Ironman race, I had a coach that trained me, and he took me in, and he also blessed me too. I didn't have to pay for anything. So yeah, he paid for the 1 year coaching and the gym and the use and everything and his services and support. So I was very helpful and a big blessing for that, for his generosity. And for real estate investing, I have a couple of different mentors for different areas. Like when I first started out wholesaling, I bought a lot of online courses. I will learn from that. And my big mentor is Kent Clothier from real Estate Worldwide. So
Yeah, yeah, Kent's great.
yeah,
Hmm.
he's the only guy that paid for an interpreter to go to a conference, and he was there for me. He supported me, and he was always there for me. So I have a lot of respect for that guy, and he knows so much about the real estate industry, and I'm always learning from him. So I'm forever grateful for his kindness and his generosity. And I have a mentor too for multifamily investing as well with Daniel Quack from the Quack Brothers. So he has a lot of experience investing in multifamily. And if I have a deal and I need help analyzing it and get a second opinion, I can go to him for help just to make sure that I'm doing it right and the numbers are spot on. Because the last thing I want to do is lose money, especially my investors' money that I'm working with.
Absolutely. Now, for the audience, that question is there for you, because it's important that when you see a success like Zane, that you also understand that in success, it's an interdependent conquest. So, of course, you're doing all of the work. You're taking care of your mind, your body, your soul, everything. Everything. But it's the connections and relationships that help catapult you to these next levels of what you're trying to accomplish. So Zane, thank you so much for sharing that. As you heard, guys, he has coaches. He even had somebody that believed in him so much that he paid, completely sponsored Zane's training and getting him ready for the goal. And so if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a working professional, and you're wondering, what's going on with my results, ask yourself, do you have the right mentors, coaches, and relationships around you? Because they are critical for your success. So Zane, thank you for sharing that. Now, when it comes to, all of these successes that you just shared, what made you different than everybody else? What would you say? What made you different? What was your unique selling proposition that made you different than everybody else? What would you say?
Well, I would say that, I mean, everybody here is learning about how to invest in real estate, business, and the mortgage industry and all that. And that's all great. And I love what I do for a living. I mean, I love it, from the bottom of my heart. But what makes me different is that it's about personal development and having the right mindset, the right attitude. It all starts with us first before you can succeed in anything in life. If you have a negative mindset, or you're not willing to work for it, or you want an easy way out, or maybe you're selfish, whatever the reason, you will not succeed in life and will not get very far. So it really starts with us. I've always believed in myself and what I can do, and that's really my biggest selling point. And it's how I'm able to get up. I mean, I've been knocked down hundreds of times in my life. I've even fallen short in big time races in Ironman. And, I've had so many setbacks. I've even filed for bankruptcy once many years ago in business after I lost everything. And, I've been through everything. I've seen everything. So that's my biggest point. I have a lot of experience. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to fail and how to pick yourself up and get back on track and then finally overcome your obstacle. You just have to get up. If you fall 100 times, get up 101 times. I promise you, if you keep going and you don't give up, you'll eventually have a breakthrough if you believe in yourself and you have the right attitude. And then, of course, if you increase your chances by having the right network of people in your life and the right coaches and the mentors, then you'll increase your chances of succeeding in life. So there's a saying, your net worth is your network.
Power, power. And so Zane, with all of these successes that you've been able to accomplish, did you celebrate after, the big win? And if you did, what did you do to celebrate? Did you go out, with friends? Did you celebrate personally? Did you, do something with the family? Any of your success stories, did you celebrate? And if you did, what did you do?
Well, we didn't do a major celebration really. I just might hang out with the family for the day and go get dinner and just hang out. And I kind of go right back to work really the next day or two.
Mhm. Completely understood. And for everybody listening, I hope that you've taken notes and you've picked up the golden nuggets that Zane just left for us. You got to persevere. You got to be able to do the activities despite how you feel, despite the situation. And like he said, the mindset is what made him different than everybody else. And the awesome part about that solution for our audience, you have the power to change yours too. So make sure that in the comment section, type mindset. Again, type mindset. All right, Zane, thank you so much for discussing your early success with us. Now let's move into the last part of today's conversation, which is business today. So Zane, I mean, you've done a lot. You've went through many challenges, a lot of setbacks, but you had so many great accomplishments. You're not a lazy guy. You're very active. You're very motivated, very inspiring. Where has that led you today? Tell us about your business, what your products and services are, and we're all ears.
Yes, there's a couple of different things that I've been doing lately. Right now, I'm focusing on building a syndication where I can buy multi-family properties, and I do have some funding partners I'm working with so that I could buy some properties over time. I'm just focusing on building my cash flow over time so I can build true generational wealth. And I'm also helping people that have additional capital that might be sitting in their retirement account and maybe they want to invest in real estate and get a nicer return on their money. And that's also safer than investing in the stock market, right? Especially right now, the market's going down. I know a lot of people are losing some of that retirement money. They're just sitting in their account. And that's frustrating for anybody. So I've been building onto that. And I wouldn't have gotten to where I am if I didn't start from the beginning as a wholesaler. And then I moved up to fixer uppers, and then I moved up to small rental property. And I've been working nationwide pretty much for that, just depending on where the deals are and what makes sense financially. And and also during that time, I also worked for a hard money lender for about a year, and then I worked for a conventional lender for 1 year. So I was able to learn a little bit more about the lending industry. And then I finally decided to go ahead and get my license as a mortgage broker so that I can help more people with their financing needs. Because I noticed a lot of people were asking me for loans and what lender to go to. I realized I could probably build a business around that, and I learned some shortcuts on how to get started in real estate because I personally started out by getting a personal line of credit. I got $114,000 so I could get started in a fixer upper, and I have that program. And I also put together a 1 hour video on how to get started in rental properties. So basically, I explain how the financing works and how you can use it to your advantage. I know a lot of people, they do things the hard way because they just have not been educated on how to do this. So most people, they'll work many years, save up enough money for a down payment for a rental property purchase rate, which is like 25-30% down. But there's a faster way. If you can find a property at 70% after repair value, so you already have 30% equity, and most banks will require some kind of down payment. So you do that with a hard money lender, you clean up the property, you get that rented, then you can refinance your loan at 75 to 80% of the value. So now whatever money you had to put down with that first lender, you're gonna get that money back or most of it. Now you can reinvest that money so you can buy more rental properties over time. So I kind of started creating a service around that because I've got the lender and I have the experience, I have the deals, and I'll help people to find a property and get them qualified for funding if they need it. And then we'll find a property, get the financing in place. It'll help them find a contractor, the property manager. So I do everything, and then I'll work our way to the end of the process in which we refinance the loan. So I was able to help a couple people with the process, and it's truly a blessing to be able to do that to help people get started. And I kind of hold their hand along the way. Because most of the courses I got, well, okay, that's great, but I had to figure it out myself. And there's a lot of trial and error from my own experience. I learned that by doing. And yeah, I crash and burn big time on some occasion, but I understand the process better from my own experience. So I'm able to hold people's hand because that's what some people need, and they're scared and they can't take that next step. So they have guidance from beginning to end. That's really the best business system that we can go for.
That's great. That's great. Now, when it comes to the new business, you're doing real estate, making investments nationwide. You've got a mortgage license, so you're able to help out with loans. You've got the experience, like you said, you crashed and burned. So now that you're in the business, what does a typical day look like now for you?
Well, for me, I'm doing so many things right now. I'm getting bombarded with a lot of emails from requests for loan and about business lines of credit or how to invest in real estate. And I'm also going to a lot of networking meetings regularly. I'm always trying to meet new people and build relationships. Really, real estate is the people business, not really about the deal, the money, or whatever. It's more about the people that I build relationship with. And that's what I like the most about it. So I'm forever grateful for everybody that come my way based on that.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say right now in the real estate market, especially in your business? Is the market on an uptrend? Is it flatlining, or is it on a downtrend right now? Because at this day and time, guys, we all know that the Feds have been hiking up the interest rates. So, what would you say from your perspective, Zane? Are we uptrending, downtrending, or is it pretty flat right now in the market? What would you say?
Yeah, I guess that depends on where your perspective is, if you're an investor or if you're not an investor. If you're not an investor, the rising interest rate is not really a great thing. Now, people can't buy a house because the interest rates are so high, they have to pay a lot more. So that means they have to buy a smaller house. But all the market or the houses or the costs has like doubled in the last few years, pretty much. So everything's really expensive, and now the interest rate's gone up. A lot of people can't afford it, which is understandable. But from an investor standpoint, there's always deals out there. If you know where to look, you can find great deals out there that are already discounted with creative financing. I do like seller financing on some deals, or you can help some people that you need to get out of their situation for a cash offer. So there's always opportunities out there if you know what you're doing. So from an investor standpoint, it's a lot easier. It's not really that much of a big deal. But sure, if you're an investor and you want to refinance your loan to a long-term rental income, yeah, the interest rates are higher, and that's where it's kind of a little bit more of a challenge for some people. But as an investor, if you know what you're doing, you can still work around that.
Absolutely. And so, Zane, here at BRP, our audience, they're leaders, right? And leaders are readers. So are there any books, publications, any recommendations from your own personal library that you'd like to recommend for our audience to read and to look into?
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of books. I'm always reading books, personal development and investing in real estate. Some of my favorites are Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was one of my favorites. And that's kind of where I get my mindset from, the attitude that I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And I try to figure out how to solve a problem and try to find a solution when everybody else has given up. I've been able to come up with some creative solution in real estate after everybody gave up. So that's really nice to be able to do that. You'd be surprised what you can do. And my other favorite book is oh boy, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. It's by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's wow. It just totally
Robert,
struck my mind. Yeah,
okay,
Robert
what's his name?
Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki?
Yes.
Oh, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or is it another one?
Yes. What do you say?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Thank you. Thank you for reminding
Mhm.
me. That's the book. I love that book and many of the books. It's given me a lot of valuable insight and a lot of basic knowledge about investing in real estate. And that's why I read when I first started out. And it gave me a whole new perspective on life and finance. And you realize that what we were taught growing up, that's not that there's more to the whole life that I'm just going to school, get a college education, get a degree, get a job, and to work till you retire, and you're barely getting by financially. So I'm really glad I found that other way of life through real estate investing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now that you're, all in real estate investing, you're helping your clients find the properties, get the deals done. Um, what would you say your unique selling proposition is now in real estate? What makes you different than all of the other guys in the real estate market that are helping investors invest? What makes you different?
Well, I would say that I'm able to guide people from beginning to end, including the financing, and also help find a deal that comes along my way in my pipeline so that I can match them with the right deal. Most people only have one or two things that they offer, like they only sell the property, or maybe they offer property management only, and they don't have the financing. Or maybe they don't have the capital to get started, and people really want to get started in real estate and they need some guidance on how to get started with that. So I have that option to be able to do that just so they get their foot in the door. If they don't qualify financially because their credit score is not good enough for something, then I give them advice on what to do so that way they can work their way to that point, and then I'll be able to help them out with the process from beginning to end. I kind of do a little bit of everything, so that's really my unique proposition.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so when it comes to your company, where do you see the company in the next 5 years as far as, let's say, maybe employees and customers? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself acquiring a lot of multifamily properties over the next 5 years. Like to get up to like over 1,000 units and have a lot of funding partners to work with and building a lot of great relationship with many people that want to work with me and my company and just build relationships right. It's all about the people there, not necessarily the deal. I want all of it to win, and the only way that we can truly win in life is to collaborate with each other and help each other achieve that goal. So that's really my main goal. And I also see myself becoming more of a motivational speaker on a larger basis. I want to go to more conferences and events and just share my knowledge, my experience about overcoming obstacles. I mean, I have a lot to offer, a lot to share. I would like to be able to give a new perspective on life. that might help somebody that's just struggling or they're suffering, and maybe they feel like there's no hope, no way out, and they just feel stuck with where they're at, and maybe I can inspire them to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. And for the audience, I want you to hear right now what Zane is saying and write this in the comment section. I am valuable. Again, I am valuable. You got to understand that it's not just about who you are, what you look like, how tall or short you are, or what those physical attributes are, but it's about what you have in your mind, what you've been actually feeding yourself mentally, and also spiritually. Because as you can see here, Zane has a full real estate investment firm, and it's growing tremendously. And for a lot of folks, they would hear something of, oh, I'm deaf, or I'm blind, or, I'm to this, or I'm to that. And they would say, hey, my life's written off. I can't do anything else besides these problems that I'm seeing. But if you see right here on BRP, Zane is a miracle. And guess what, guys? You can do the same. So follow exactly what he's saying. All of his suggestions are golden. So Zane, thank you so much for sharing that. And we do look forward to seeing your firm grow to 1,000+ units over the next 5 years. Now, Zane, when it comes to everybody here, we have investors that love real estate, so they're looking to put their money to work. We have entrepreneurs that want to get into the real estate business, so they're ready to learn from you. And then also we have folks that are just, they're more in the student phase where they just want to learn. They're not ready to take action, but they just want to learn and do more research. And it seems like you, of course, are the man that can help all of these folks. So where can we find more information about you, your products, your services? We want websites, social media, phone number, email, whatever you can share, please share. How do we get in touch with you?
Well, I have a lot of them. I have Facebook account, Instagram, a couple of Facebook business page. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Nobody else has my name, so I'm really easy to find. And also have my mortgage website, which is GraserMortgageLoan.com. And also have ZaneGraser.com for investing in general. And I have WealthBuildersEducation.com. And I'm also working on some others as well. So the best way to get a hold of me is probably send me an email direct, and then I'll be happy to have a conversation and guide you in the right direction based on where you're at in life.
Excellent. And for our audience, Zane, this is a really important question. What are your top 3 business tips for the audience? What would you say?
Top 3 business tips.
Mhm.
Well, first off, I would say don't be lazy, work hard, keep moving forward, work on one thing at a time, one step forward. It might take time to build to where you want to be in life, but you have to start somewhere. Remember that. So don't forget that, and always believe in what you're doing, and try to make the best financial decision. Everything what you're doing, make sure you learn as much as you can about the industry that you want to invest in, whether it's wholesaling, doing fixture uppers, or rental property. Make sure you understand how to analyze the numbers and make sure that you're making financial decisions so you're not buying the wrong property where you can lose money, because that can happen in real estate. And you want to try to build a team around you as well. I think it's all about the people that you're working with, so you can delegate some of the work to make things easier for you, and now working with the right people so that you can grow in business as well.
Absolutely. And for all of our listeners in our audience, these business tips are BRP certified. What does that mean? That means I know you've taken down the notes, but put them into action. Why? Because you will see immediate impact, immediate value add in your business, in your life, if you follow the business tips that Zane just shared with you. So with that said, guys, Zane just gave you so many business tips. We've learned more about his business, so we know exactly how he can help you as a real estate investor, or if you're participating in real estate and you're a real estate business or an entrepreneur, or if you're just a student of real estate, you know now who you can contact to help you with your process. And so with that said, as you follow Zane, remember to go to thebusinessrevolutionpodcast.com for the full version of this interview. And with that said, thanks again for your time, Zane. And until next